Tourists find a disturbing collection of Nazi memorabilia in Italy. Hello my friends, I'm Scott Leffler from Goosebumps. Just before we begin, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for new videos every day. World War II is one of the most studied portions of human history. The decisions that were made by world leaders and implications of said decisions have been dissected by historians over and over so many times. It seems pointless at times to keep doing it. There are, however, many lessons that can be learned from the events that took place before, during, and after that tumultuous period in human history. Because of this, it isn't really a shock that artifacts and memorabilia from that time period are prized possessions by many collectors and even governments around the world. There are entire museums all around the world dedicated to preserving these valuable pieces of human history. I personally love looking at old war relics. That's why when my friend tipped me off to this story, I had to take a look. While vacationing in Italy, a man and his wife were introduced to the family of a man who had served in the Nazi regime's feared SS division. While that's somewhat of a shock, it's nothing compared to what they were about to feel. They were taken into a garage and their jaws rightfully dropped to the floor. You won't want to miss what they were shown. I'm not sure whether this guy was still a Nazi, but he didn't give much reason to think he wasn't with some of the stuff he had hanging up. Whether or not he was, though, this is still one amazing collection. There's an abundant collection of helmets and hats. It'd be interesting to see how much some of these things would be worth at auction. This place really does have almost everything you could think of, even relics from the former Soviet Union. I hope those aren't live grenades. This stuff may be Nazi memorabilia, but it holds a very important place in history. There is even a collection of different types of World War II boots. Simple, mundane objects even have historical value, like a simple fork or a cup that would have been used by soldiers. You have to wonder how he acquired all these different items. Some of these artifacts are beyond my comprehension. I have absolutely no idea what they do. This looks like a collection of flashlights, lamps, and other odds and ends. That bust of Hitler would probably fetch a pretty penny to a collector. I'm always very curious as to what those things resembling bowling pins are. Possibly a stamp or a seal of some sort? Look, more hats. These photos give another unique glimpse into that time in history. A photo of Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler together, two of the most evil men who have ever walked the planet. These are World War II era radios. Keep coming back to the question of how he was able to acquire all of these artifacts. There were also plenty of pristine looking uniforms on display. That's one big naval ship replica. Even more rare pictures. More odds and ends. There's just so much stuff in here that I have no idea what all of it actually is. Those look like bottles of wine or beer in the corner of the photo. I wonder how much those would be worth. This is the engine and transmission to some form of military vehicle. All right, now we're getting into some really cool stuff. This looks like a German version of an American-made Jeep in World War II. This shot gives you a sense of how big this space is, and even though it's big, it still seems extremely crowded. There's quite a collection of military motorcycles contained here. There are multiple motorcycles with attached sidecars. I wonder if any of them still run. It's amazing how well preserved these artifacts are. This was actually a medical motorcycle used to transport troops from the battlefield to the hospital. If I had the money, I'd buy one of these in a heartbeat. It's such a cool piece of history. Yeah, that's like a bomb or torpedo of some sort. An old transport vehicle. Here we go. Now, this is a prime piece of World War II memorabilia. I don't know the exact name, but it's clearly an armored assault vehicle of some sort. Okay, and there were guns aplenty in this makeshift museum. I'd feel safe from zombies having that around. I wonder if the man who acquired all this stuff restored it all himself. Some of these guns are incredibly rare. I wonder if they're still functioning or have since been decommissioned. There are even some old bazookas hanging out in here. They must have been disarmed at some point for them to be owned by a private citizen. I hope. This place really is a gun lover's dream. This place is truly like taking a step back in time. Talk about stepping into a time capsule. There has to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in artifacts and memorabilia stored in this place. It's amazing someone could collect all this in a lifetime. I'm not sure if the man who did the collecting is still alive, but his family seems to be looking after his collection at least. I'd be extremely interested to see exactly how much this entire room is worth.